If I could sit down with my younger self, the advisor, the leader, the one who is chasing growth at every level, I would tell him, you're doing good, but I'll show you how to get sharper, move faster, and avoid the friction most people never see coming. Because the difference between being a top performer for a moment and building something that actually lasts year after year comes down to one thing: knowing when to go wide and when to go narrow. Because top performance in the moment means nothing if your strategy can't hold up over time. And the longer you delay that shift, the harder it becomes to stay relevant. I was a top performing wealth advisor, leader, and executive in the wealth management industry for 23 consecutive years, building and running multi-billion-dollar businesses. Few ever get insider access to what it really takes to reach the top levels in this business. I launched EliteVate to change that. This is my mission. So what are you going to learn from this conversation? 1, why taking on every client eventually limits your growth. 2, how the generalist model is getting squeezed and what that means for your business. 3, why specialization is now being sought out by both clients and your COI partners. And 4, the shift you need to make to stay relevant in this business. So what are some of the problems? Well, most advisors start wide. They'll say yes to every client, regardless of fit, complexity, or value. And early on, that makes total sense because you need experience, you need the volume, you need the reps. But that early momentum creates a false sense of progress. You'll think you're growing, but what actually is happening is this: all you're doing is chasing volume instead of clarity. Your calendars, they stay full, but nothing is moving forward. And you'll confuse being busy with building a business. And eventually, when you do start to segment, you'll default to just asset size because that's all you were taught. And it feels like a strategy, but it doesn't change your positioning. And from the outside, again, it looks strong, but from the inside, it's just another recycling effort. And you start reacting to whatever shows up instead of building a position that attracts the right clients. And over time, that gap, it just compounds. Meanwhile, the industry is evolving underneath you, providing more options, more speed, more information. And basic advice, it's getting commoditized fast. And now with AI and tech-enabled platforms expanding, the generalist advisor, they're not just being left behind, they're being bypassed. And your larger clients now are not asking, they're looking, because someone else is out there that's going to offer a deeper expertise and often at a better cost than what your clients are paying you right now. And it's not just clients making this move. Even your COIs, your attorneys, CPAs, your business partners, they're starting to direct their clients to specialists instead of you. And this is not because you failed, but because aligning with a specialist makes their own advice stronger and protects their own client relationships. And that's the shift most advisors aren't seeing coming until they already lost ground. And I understand because early in my career, I had the same mindset as most advisors do. Start wide, take on everything, build fast. And I was winning, but I was also watching. I looked at the other advisors ahead of me, the ones who had been in this business 15, 20 years, guys with big books, long track records, but no leverage. Still grinding every day, still chasing, and quietly being stuck. Their numbers looked good from the outside, but inside, they were starting from scratch every year. They all had no specializations, no structure to scale. They were successful, but they weren't in control. And a lot of them told me that, some directly, and some by how they operated. They all shared what they wished they had done differently, gone deeper, built more intentionally. Learn how to reposition before the market forced their hand. And that lesson stuck with me because I saw it happening in real time. Advisors with 2 decades of experience, no position to protect them, no path forward except work harder again and again. And I saw their future and I knew that couldn't be my path. So I started shifting early, not just what I did, but how I thought about my business, about who I served, how I was seen, and what I was building long-term. And that shift is what gave me control. And it's exactly what most advisors never make until it's too late. So what do you do? Well, if you're ready to make this shift, don't start with your products or process. Start with yourself. I understand you began wide, but you can't stay there. The move is about narrowing intentionally, then specializing with purpose. And here's how you do it. 1, look at your skills, your experiences, and your natural market. Where do you already bring insight that others don't? What types of clients or businesses do you understand because you've lived in their world, advised them consistently, or built trust with them before? This isn't about guessing. It's about identifying where you already speak the language. 2, if that knowledge doesn't exist today, you have to go build it. You can't position around a segment you don't deeply understand. You have to know how they think, how they make decisions, what they're solving for, and what they're avoiding. 3, Order your current book for patterns. Most advisors already have the makings of a specialty. They just haven't quantified it. So when you look at your book, run the numbers. How many of your clients fall into specific verticals like business owners, corporate executives, professional services, or even real estate-based clients? If you have clusters of these, you have the foundation. 4, revisit those segments and expand them intentionally. Don't just maintain them, build on them. Lean in, develop content, conversation, and strategies that deepen your presence in that space. 5, analyze your COI network through a specialization lens. Look at attorneys, CPAs, consultants, and partners in your orbit. Do their specialties align with your client segments that you want to own? If not, you need to start building a network that does, because COIs aren't just a referral source, they're a positioning asset. 6, evaluate whether your offering actually supports the segments you want to serve. This is not about providing advice. You need to make sure that you have the solution set, the products, the access, the structure to meet the real needs of that segment. Because if you can't deliver what they require, they'll go elsewhere. And when someone else provides a solution, they rarely come back for the advice. So why is this important? Because success isn't defined by how much activity you can generate. It's defined by whether you're building something that actually lasts. Because when you know when to go wide and when to go narrow, you stop thinking in terms of short-term production and start positioning yourself for long-term elevation. And when you make that shift, here's what changes. You gain control over your future, because your business isn't built on chance, it's built on alignment. You build a stronger, more durable practice, one that compounds instead of resetting every year. And you become the kind of advisor specific segments are drawn to, because they see you as someone who understands their world. And you position yourself as the advisors COIs want to align with, because your expertise strengthens their credibility and deepens their client relationships. And these benefits isn't just about growing this year. It's relevance 10 years from now. It's confidence that you're not seen as just another advisor. You're the one the clients and COIs want in their corner. So again, if I could go back and tell my younger self one thing, it would be this. It's the same thing I'll leave with you now. Start wide to build expertise. Go narrow to build depth, but specialize to stay relevant. Every week, I'll dive deeper into the critical moves that helps leaders and advisors break through plateaus and lead at the levels they're built for. We'll cut through the fluff, no hype, no theory, just strategy, psychology, and execution. If this message hits home, make sure you're following along. You're in the right place, whether you're leading teams, running a book, or scaling a firm. This is EliteVate. Let's cut through the noise and build something that actually lasts.